Good morning and welcome to Coffee with Coaches down here at Turbo Coffee. UNA Athletics hanging out. We got some spring coaches in the house that we're going to chat with. I'm Benjamin Ray, and we're leading off with some men's golf with Austin Phillips. But before we get to men's golf, I got to start with this, Coach Phillips. You won the baby race a few weeks ago with your son. How have you been celebrating that big win at the basketball game?
You know, we made sure he didn't walk before the baby race, so he wouldn't get disqualified, and so he walked 3 days later after the baby race, so we timed it up perfectly. But, you know, he is walking all over the place. He's 16 months old. He's doing really good.
I told him if they do it deeper into February, my son would be crawling, and sure enough, he's crawling. We can't stop him now, but he didn't get out of the gates, but luckily he was not the only one. So you're doing a great job coaching golf and also getting your child on the move early on. So let's talk some golf, and you kind of just summed it up. You had a tournament to start the year where you struggled, you weren't very happy, and then followed it up with perhaps the best tournament of the year out in California, the Prestige, which is a prestigious tournament. So talk about the bounce back.
Yeah, I mean, the Seabest was probably the worst tournament we've had since I've been here. It's just like everything went wrong at the same time, and then the guys just really didn't have the toughness and the mental state to really bounce back from that. We had a lot of conversations about that. The weather got a little better here in Florence, and so when we went out to California, the weather was honestly awful. We had the 1 inch of rain that they have the whole year. When we played, it was 40 miles per hour wind, and the guys shot 8 over in those conditions, which was the third best in that wave, and it really propelled us for that tournament, and we beat some good teams because of it.
Let's talk about Andrew Furwarn, top 5 in 3 different tournaments so far, right? Just how strong has he been?
Yeah, I mean, he's a front runner for Player of the Year in the conference this year. Is probably between 3 different guys that have a chance, and he's just every single year he's developed in something a little more. His first year he couldn't win, or he couldn't finish the last round. The second year he couldn't play in the spring, and then this year he's kind of developed that on top of that. I mean, he will definitely, if we don't make it as a team, make regionals individually, and so he's really, really good, and he's playing against these big players, and it's not scaring him, and he's beating them pretty easily.
And then what's been the message to him to help him finish stronger?
Yeah, I mean, I think it just was continuing to believe and put in the confidence in him that he could do it. And once you start beating a few of them, it's like it becomes a lot easier. And so, I mean, I think he beat a top 10 player in the country that week. And so, I mean, that just shows you how the quality of the competition that he's beating.
Well, I was going to jump into that from the Prestige. Stanford won it. And if you know much about golf, Stanford's had a lot of great golfers over the years. Texas Tech, Oregon State were all under par. Oregon, Kansas, and then Northwestern, UNA tied. You beat San Diego, Washington State, UNC Wilmington, Wake Forest, Princeton, Gonzaga. I mean, there's some big names. Little Rock, Colorado, and then some ASUN schools, Lipscomb out there as well. Clemson's another name, but it's got to be a big confidence boost for this team.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was one of those things where they know if they play their game, they're just as good as those teams. And I think that is where, I mean, Stanford, it was their home tournament pretty much. Texas Tech, they're now going to be in the top 5 after their performance this week. So those are very good golf schools. But I mean, the fact is we played at the same time as Wake Forest. We played at the same time as Clemson, and to see our guys beat them pretty badly, like it shows just the mental toughness they have and the belief that they're a very good golf team. Because this is a very good golf team, and we have three, seniors starting that have been starting for us for 3 years. We have three guys right now that have started every single tournament for the last 3 years.
And then outside of Andrew, I was going to ask you, who else has been shining?
I think the biggest thing that's pushing us a little forward right now is Jed Brady, the freshman, true freshman that we didn't sign until July. He kind of came out of nowhere recruiting-wise for me, and he really had no other options, so he came to UNA. And so he was good in the fall, but he was very inconsistent. I think he's finally hit to the point where he realizes his bad rounds are now okay, and his good rounds are getting better. And so he's now the favorite to win Freshman of the Year in the conference, and with our schedule the rest of the year, he can really move up.
Let's talk about that schedule. You'll leave Friday to go down to Tallahassee, Florida, the Seminole Intercollegiate, back out to California for the Bridgestone Intercollegiate, and then you'll wrap up before the ASUN tournament with Liberty's tournament over in Richmond, Virginia. But let's start with this weekend, kind of early next week, rather. You'll travel Friday, but the Seminole Intercollegiate, what's the field look like?
Yeah, it's a field. Florida State was worried this year because they had some players missing for some of the season that they wouldn't hit the 500 rules, so they expanded the field and put some teams in there that normally wouldn't be there. So the bottom of the field's a little bit different this year, but the top of the field, we still Florida State, obviously, and this is their home course, and they play very well there. Arkansas State, they're top 35 in the country. Southern Miss is top 60. You have Stetson, who's been playing really well. And so overall, it's a pretty good top end of the field. And so it'll give us a good opportunity to move up the rankings ourselves.
Then you go back out to California, and first of all, what's it take to get everybody out to California?
Donate to men's golf. Honestly, it's one of those things that the guys, honestly, we have a few internationals, or they're from spots that don't have Bermuda. So they're very comfortable over there. I know the people with the Bridgestone pretty well, and so this is our third year in a row that we're going there. BYU pretty much hosts it. The coach of BYU, his dad designed the golf course, so they play there every year. And so it's a really special place to be, and it just really takes the reason we're going out there is because we know we can compete with those teams, and we're lucky we're able to do so.
And then the ASUN tournament will be end of the year, Valdosta, Georgia. We'll go back down there April 21st to April 23rd. Early outlook, what's the expectations?
We needed to be windy this year. Last year it was not windy, so it became a putting contest, and it brought every single team in there. Florida Gulf Coast is definitely the best team in the conference. They're beating, I think, 8 Power 4s right now, and currently in a tournament over the top 25, top 20. So they'll move in the top 40 in the country. And so then you have Stetson, and then you have us right now. And us and Stetson, we're 1-1 against each other. We played each other all year, and so I think it's going to be very interesting to see those three teams compete with one another. I mean, one of those three should win the conference tournament. But last year, Central Arkansas, who was the 8 seed, won, just because it became a different kind of golf tournament. But it should be exciting between those three teams.
Busy stretch coming up for you, and good luck this weekend down in Tallahassee.
Thank you.
All right, that's Austin Phillips, UNA Golf. We'll take a quick scene set, and we'll bring up some beach volleyball next. Spring sports conversations continuing down here at Turbo Coffee. This is Coffee with Coaches. We're talking some beach volleyball next. A 6-4 start. They started at the Florida State Unconquered Invitational, going 3-2, taking down Cal State Bakersfield, Southeastern Louisiana, and knocking off UAB, a team receiving votes. The two losses were to Georgia State and Florida State, two top 20 teams. Then they went down to Baton Rouge, Louisiana for the Tiger Beach Bash. They fell to Tulane and LSU. Again, Tulane receiving votes. LSU ranked number 12 in the nation. And then down Southern Miss, ULM, and Houston Christian. So a good start for your team. How pleased are you with the way that this team has battled a pretty tough schedule early on?
Yeah, we're really excited. We have some old bodies but new pairings, and then a lot of freshmen and sophomores who, when we put the schedule together, we thought we're either going to be having our hands around their shoulders and like boosting some confidence, or we're going to feel pretty good about ourselves after two tough weekends and a lot of travel. So really excited with the way that we've competed, and everybody, all healthy bodies have competed, which has been probably a first for us since I've been here, just with the talent that we have from 1 to 15. So it's been cool to see that growth and just the belief that everyone can get it done.
You know, you've graduated 3 straight years of players who might be considered the greatest of all time in this young program, right? Players that will be in the Athletic Hall of Fame one day. So what's it been like seeing some of those younger players develop and step into those roles?
Yeah, it has built my faith, I think, I lose a lot of sleep early thinking, oh man, what are we going to do without Paula or Taylor or Katie Floyd? Probably will think that about Selma and Audrey this year. And each year I feel like we see some of these younger kids step up and watch them grow up before our eyes. And I think early on that process, you know, like you compare them every day to each other, and then you don't see how even they are until that next year when they're in charge and they kind of take on that responsibility. So it's been cool to see some of our last year freshmen mature a little, and they understand what the season's like and what it takes to be successful, and it's been really a blessing for them to see Selma to see Paula and Taylor, and like what it takes to be competitive weekend in and weekend out.
All right, and let's jump back to the Florida State Invitational. And what was the highlight from that tournament for you?
That whole weekend was really tough. We had never seen Cal State Bakersfield West Coast teams don't get this way a ton. So I felt like that was a good early season win. They struggled in the wind, but they were an athletic team. And then beating UAB, they will probably be in the top 20 1 or 2 more weekends in. They have just beat so many good teams, and that was a really tough test for us. We've only ever beat them once that I know of since I've been here. So to start the season, that felt really good to see some of our younger kids. We had a clinch match in the twos with a sophomore and a senior who was not in our lineup last year, and to see them finish and just the confidence that brought the rest of the pairs was awesome.
And then same thing, Tiger Beach Bash wins against Southern Miss, Houston Christian, ULM. What was your big takeaway?
Yeah, Southern Miss is much improved. We beat them last year, and they were okay, and this year I felt like they were significantly stronger. So same thing. It came down to 2 courts in the third set, and one of our teams dropped a really tight third set, and then right away the twos, again, who got UAB, clinched that one for us, which was, you know, going into the weekend I would have said we should be 3-2, but seeing how strong that they were, I think that was a much better win than it was last year for us.
All right, so coming up next, you guys will leave out soon.
Yes,
Thursday?
Yeah.
Going down to DeLand, Florida, the Stetson Spring Invitational. You'll see ASUN foes Stetson and Florida Gulf Coast. They've been, 2 of the best programs in the ASUN since beach volleyball was started. Texas A&M Corpus Christi, they've been really good. And then a rematch with Southern Miss. So it looks like a pretty challenging tournament again.
Yeah, Stetson, the new rankings, they're 13th, so 1 tick lower than where LSU was. Every year they just reload. They have a ton of international talent, and we've been really competitive with them. So I think the girls are excited to go take on Stetson again. That's kind of been a benchmark for us of like we need to beat one of the big 3 Florida schools. Florida Gulf Coast probably in the top 25. I would say they're really strong this year. Corpus started the season in the top 20, and then Southern Miss not an easy one. So we're excited. I think 4 really challenging matches, but that's been a theme for us this year is wanting to be challenged every weekend with the North Florida level, Stetson level teams so that we're ready come ASUN. So it's not so like, we see LSU, then we have an easy weekend. We've just had a lot of kind of grind them out, see what we're made of weekends.
And then after that, you'll see Austin Peay twice, South Carolina and UAB at the March to May UAB's tournament. And then the Shoals Beach Bash coming up March 27th to 28th, Spring Hill, Eastern Kentucky, Tusculum, Austin Peay. You guys will have another home showcase, senior weekend, coming up April 16th and 17th with the Missouri State and Central Arkansas. So let's talk about those two home weekends, if you will. And it's a lot of fun, right? I mean, people need to come check this out.
Yeah, it is a blast. If you've not been to a beach match, it is really laid back. You can bring the lawn chairs or sit in the bleachers. There's music playing. We're hoping the 75 degrees sticks around for March and April and maybe all of summer if it was 75. But it is a good time. There's a lot of volleyball going on, so if one court's in a timeout, you can look at the other court, and it's just volleyball all day long. It's a really good time. I feel like everyone who comes out for the first time enjoys it more than they think they will, not knowing what to expect. So we'd love to see everybody out there.
I think about beach volleyball, and for us, the program started back in 2019, but the real boom came, I believe, during the Rio Olympics, when it felt like beach volleyball was just the most popular thing for people to watch. But how much is this sport continuing to grow?
Yeah, it continues. The Olympics are always a big propeller of beach, but we've seen a lot more international opportunities. The college landscape keeps growing and getting more competitive, and I think seeing like the young kids now are coming to college and then going straight to like being competitive for Olympic rosters from all sorts of countries. So it's been really awesome to see that growth, and hopefully it continues to develop, especially in the lower half of the country where in February it's warm enough to have some beach.
Right. Beach volleyball starts, and it's always as cold as it can be outside, and it's usually raining, it feels like.
Yes.
All right, so outside of Selma, let's leave on this. Who are some of the players that have really stepped up for you?
Sarah Larkin Lewis is a senior. She was in the same recruiting class as Selma and has had maybe the coolest journey. She played a little as a freshman on a small roster. She didn't start as a sophomore and found a great match with a senior in our lower pairs. Played the year kind of as a support player with her partner. Junior year didn't really play at all in our lineup and has this year been in our twos all year and has a winning record, has clinched 2 of our big wins. She has just been fantastic. Off the court, all of her years, she's involved with SAC. I think she's SAC president this year. She is like the ideal person that you'd want on your roster. So to see her hard work kind of culminate with a really successful start to her senior year has been awesome. She's playing with a sophomore out of Tennessee named Paige Greiner, who, same thing, like she was really good as a freshman, but she's kind of grown up and matured and is taking on a lot more leadership. And then we have a transfer from Stephen F. Austin named Jenna, and she has been fantastic in kind of the middle of our lineup. She can play with anybody. She's so athletic. I think she can touch the top of the antenna, which before Taylor Sini, that's like just kind of rarefied air for us. So it's really fun to watch her compete and grow and be kind of a staple in the center of our lineup.
Well, hey, down to Florida this weekend. Hope you enjoy it. Safe travels and best of luck. Thanks for breaking it down with us.
Thanks, sir. Roar Lions.
We'll take another time out. When we come back, we'll talk some women's golf.
Yeah, and then our single round, first time we shot under par in that first round.
Talking some women's golf next. Neil Self joins us coming off of a program highlight. Second place finish at the Huntsville.org Intercollegiate over in Huntsville, Alabama. And Coach, we're going to dive into this one pretty in depth, but how proud are you of what this team accomplished to open up, I guess, the run that's coming up for us?
It was certainly a really good tournament. I think enough time has passed now, kind of from the event, where I look back on it and see all the positives. Shot a program record, shot under par as a team. Through 2 rounds we had the lead. Things that, it's really good learning experience for the team. Kind of a dream scenario. We would go on to win that individual and then to win the team crown also, but, just fell short, but certainly a lot to build on, a lot of positives.
Kerrigan Klauber was the leader for you. She finished second, was right there in the mix down the stretch, I believe. But talk about her performance and how proud you are of her.
It was amazing. And Kerrigan's this is her 4th year in the program. She had a redshirt year. She's improved every year. Super hard worker. Always a 4.0, really good student. This year, just in practice, we've seen in qualifying and a little bit in the fall, just glimpses of she's a different player now. She's improved her putting a lot, her recovery shots, just little things that you need at this level. She's worked really hard and kind of attained those. And so when she plays well, she can compete. And you saw it last week, and it was hopefully not the last time we see it. Kind of shows what she's capable of now.
You've lost some pretty big names the last couple of years to graduation. Do you feel like she's kind of next in line to replace the likes of John B. and some of the others?
Yeah, she certainly is. She has the firepower. She has all the tools now. She certainly leads by example. We're finally seeing the scores, to show that she's ready to lead this team.
Who else has been standing out?
Everybody's really contributed. We're a team that haven't had, we don't have like a certain one or a certain two. It's just kind of plug and play every round. Ava's from a transfer from UAB's played really well for us. Quan, she's a sophomore. She's had really good tournaments. We've had some contributions from our freshmen, Kirsten Riggins, Olivia Whittle, sophomore. Just pretty much everybody. It's a team that, we don't know who is going to lead us on that day. And somebody gets hot and they have a good tournament and it propels us.
All right, coming up next, the Magnolia Collegiate hosted by South Alabama down in Mobile. You guys will leave, what'd you just tell me, Saturday for that. It'll be a Monday, Tuesday tournament. You'll have your practice round Sunday. What's the early outlook for this?
Oh, it's a really good field. Teams that are ranked higher than us. So, if we have a good tournament, it's a good chance for us to move up. But I know the course a little bit. The girls haven't seen it, but I look forward to going down there and seeing it. I think we're going to get some wind Monday, so that always makes it interesting. Just really excited.
We've been battling rain the last couple of days here in the Shoals area. Outside, it's still cloudy and overcast. I think it might be supposed to clear up a little bit. But when you this will be your, you went down to Florida earlier for the Stetson tournament just around Orlando, now down to South Alabama. What's it like when you go to kind of those warmer areas where maybe the weather's a little bit better, when you've been battling Alabama conditions?
It's nice. It's really nice. The Orlando tournament, we went down there and we were expecting it to be really warm, but it was actually just a cold snap. So it was 42 degrees.
Like you were back
home.
home.
So it makes it a lot worse when you're in a warm place and it's cold. When you expect it, it's not so bad. But anytime we get warm weather and calm weather in college golf, we certainly don't take it for granted because it's really rare. It just seems like we're always battling wind or storms or anything or cold weather, but that's just part of it. But anytime we get a good day, we certainly enjoy it.
And then how do you guys handle practice this time of year?
Like yesterday we played. We knew the weather was coming in at 4, so we just kind of squeezed into practice after class. And then it's just kind of day to day. If we have thunderstorms, we might move it around a couple hours. But we can pretty much just take it day to day.
Part-time weatherman for you, right? Looking at all the radars.
I know when the peak winds are. I know when the storms are coming in. So if anybody needs to know that, I watch it very carefully.
Tell me this: how many rounds per week do these girls play?
In season, when we're qualifying, we might play 4 or 5. During season, when we're playing events, we'll have 3 events in the tournament. We'll come back, we might play another one. But during season, I don't like to, play every single day. We'll have a lot of range days, a lot of short game days, even some days off, especially because, when you go to a tournament, you play a practice round. First of all, you travel all day, then you play a practice round. And the first day you play 36 holes, and the final round's 18. So that's a lot of golf. So now it's just making sure the mind's rested, make sure the body's rested, and just kind of knowing when to back off a little bit if they need some rest.
After Mobile, you'll go to Lipscomb's tournament in Nashville, Mercer's tournament over in Macon. What are the highlights of those two as you wrap up the year?
Listen, the Nashville, it's a really cool golf course. Lipscomb's a team that we'll see a couple more times, and certainly see them at conference. So it's anytime we face them, we're excited. We'll see a lot of ASUN schools. Anytime we face an ASUN school, we're excited. But they're both just really good fields, and right now we're pretty much everywhere we go, we're punching up. So every tournament is a chance for us to raise the bar, raise the standard. So hopefully we can, continue to do that.
Well, Coach, safe travels down to Mobile. Hope it's great weather and another great showing from your team.
All right, thank you.
We'll take a time out there and Hurt Turbo Coffee. We'll talk some tennis next. Can you hear me all right?
Yes.
Let me pull up y'all's schedule. Y'all are rolling, aren't you? 8 in a row?
Yeah.
Women's tennis has won 8 in a row. Their Sunday matchup against Florida Gulf Coast was canceled. They're coming off of a Friday win against Troy, 4-3. Elia Guarda Rivas joins us. And Elia, 8 in a row. That's big, but I know you're probably not happy with it, right? You want more.
Yeah. I think last year we did 11 in a row, so at least 12,
So that's what you're shooting for, right?
Yeah.
All right, they're in this win streak. What have you liked most about the way this team's been rolling?
Multiple things, because to win 8 in a row, you have to like more than one thing. But I think one of the things I like is that everybody knows what they need to do, and they are getting out there and they are doing it. Not much complaints, not much, whining about things, just getting out there and doing their job. So as a coach, that's really nice.
Let's talk about your last win, Troy. Pretty dramatic finish, right? Just how
gosh, yes.
tense was this?
So it was so tense. So we started doubles, and then it started doubles. We didn't start really good. It started raining. We had to step out of the courts, wait a bit. Then we got back, and then we lost 1 doubles. We won 2 doubles, and then we were number 3 doubles. We had a match point against us. Literally, they did down the line shot that it went out by this, like by 2 centimeters, if something. And that's kind of what saved us. We went into the tiebreak. We won doubles in the tiebreak. And then in singles, same thing. Emma, my number 2, she was the clinching match. And at some point in the third set, she was 5-3 down, and then the juice point, which is San Andrés. And then same thing, we won that match point, and then she was able to just take it home for the team.
So you as a coach, when you're in those scenarios, how involved are you talking to them, trying to get them to rally?
I mean, it depends on the person. You know, some players need me more, some players need me a bit less, some players want someone there just telling them what to do every point, some players just, you know, so it depends a little bit. I think with Emma, it's her third year here, so I know really well how to manage her, and I think we have good feeling on the court. So just like, I feel she's one of those that needs every time someone, you know, to be there with her and support her. And then she just does her business.
So I know Emma's been really good for you. Who else has stood out so far?
I mean, Emma has been undefeated, doubles and singles, which I think that's worth a mention because I'm calling the ASAM from here. How can someone be undefeated, doubles and singles, and not be player of the week
Right.
any week? Just someone please explain it to me. So I'm really fired up about that one. I think Eva has been good. The only match she's lost at number 1 in singles has been against Troy in the third set. Other than that, she was undefeated until that point. And then my freshman, Sammy, she's been playing at 5, and I'm pretty sure she's won the 8 last in a row. So she's been key on the 8 winning streak.
How thrilling is it, rather, for a freshman like that to be such a big contributor?
I mean, it's thrilling because I think she's a person that I've always saw she has so much potential, okay? But when she started the season, she was really nervous. And I think the first couple of matches, we put her at 4, and it's not that she lost because of tennis. She lost because, like, she was struggling for the first time competing in a team, more pressure, you know. So we put her down at 5, and since then, she's just developed so much confidence. And I think, you know, seeing that happening is like, okay, this girl is going to be really good, you know. So that's really good.
Last year, you guys had a great run through the ASUN tournament, fell in the finals to Stetson. Then you made the NIT as well. But has last year's postseason taste kind of driven this year's team? I know you still have some new faces in there.
Yeah, for sure. It's a bit different because I think until last year, everybody that will come here, it was more of like, okay, we are turning the program around. Now the people that come here is like, they just see it as normal. Like, you know, make it to the final of the conference or winning the conference is something that we do, rather than in the past it's something that we are trying to always like chase. Now it's more like, oh yeah, like of course that's our level, you know. So I think that's a bit dangerous because I think when you've been in a program, for example, Emma, Ada, they've been here for 3 years. They've seen the grind we've put and they see where we come from. So I think that makes you to be a bit more, I don't know, appreciative of some things, and it makes you be a bit more hungry. When you get to a place that's kind of how it is, I don't think you see how much work you need to put behind the scenes because, you know, when you don't have to do it. So I think that's a bit dangerous, but I think we are getting there.
Next 3 at home: Murray State, Western Kentucky, Chattanooga. Murray State Saturday, Western Kentucky Sunday, Chattanooga Tuesday. And I know you get good crowds, but a lot of people may not realize, one, you can come, you can cheer, and it's a lot of fun coming to watch these matches.
Yeah, to be honest, our crowds have been disappointing this year, which, you know, we were one of the best teams on campus last year. So if someone is hearing, they should grab their chairs, or we have places to sit and bring food, bring beers, bring whatever you need, but come to the tennis matches. It's really fun.
What does tennis etiquette people need to know when they come out?
They just cannot talk bad towards the others. So like you can cheer, you can scream, you can do whatever you want other than just be disrespectful towards the other team.
And for your players, I always like going to a tennis match, and as the matches dwindle down, right, everybody kind of moves to the last remaining courts. And how much does that fuel the players?
I think, I mean, you definitely